Today I'm going to show you the new production tracker. I say it's new because we've had production tracking at FSG for quite some time in different forms, but this is something different. We've had production tracking within ProTracker for quite some time, but we've made some pretty significant changes to it. And these changes were designed to make it easier to use, more accurate, and to automate it. And we're doing this in an attempt to get your attention, to get you guys to give it another look. Think you're going to like it. So here we go. Okay, this is the production tracker dashboard. It's found under production, and it can be displayed on a PC, laptop, or a tablet. It was actually designed specifically for a tablet. I wouldn't use it on a phone, but you could. These are the parts of the screen. At the top, of course, is as you see with all ProTracker dashboards, you have the ability to select a department and a job. Now, if you have access to multiple jobs, then you're going to see all of those jobs here. If you only have access to one, then that's all you're going to see. PID, a PID filter. We'll talk more about this later, but a PID is a way to group cost codes into one code. Because you may be using multiple cost codes for Branch Raceway, which is 101, you don't want to track all of those codes here. This is not cost code tracking. We're tracking a PID. PID stands for Production Identifier. In this case, this is all Branch Raceway on the Heinz Global Headquarters project. We don't want to break it down and get so granular that we're looking at all these 35 varieties of 101. Don't want to do that. So on the left side, let's take a quick look. On the left side, this is the efficiency meter. This is the quantity meter. This is the comparison between hours used and quantity used. These are some KPIs that are being pulled in from the host system. In this case is SX Enterprise, formerly known as Coins. So all of this should match what you see in SX Enterprise. So these are your budgets, budgeted hours, hours used, and hours left. All simple, and you should be pretty familiar with this. And this is a little more information about hours and quantity. It breaks it down into the original estimate, the changes, and the revised total. You'll notice that the total, 12,851, is shown here as the budget. Same with the quantity. Here is the material, information about material, when material is ordered, received, and when the last inventory update was performed on that material. We'll get into that more soon. Right now, it shows that there's an inventory of 710 feet. All right, this is a comparison of rates, a baseline rate and an actual quantity installed rate. Let's talk about baseline for a minute. A baseline is something that is measured against. Now, in this case, these values all represent quantity. And you can look at these and think of them as quantity installed. The baseline is showing 2,960 feet installed. Let me show you how we get that number. The baseline quantity per 8 is the hourly production rate that you must reach to be exactly on the baseline. The formula is quantity divided by hours times 8. So quantity per hour times 8, which represents 8 hours. Okay, so when you look at this baseline quantity per 8 hours, it means when you see that number 38, that the baseline based on the budget, which is based on the estimate, usually it starts with the estimate, then a budget is set up. That value represents how much each person should install on an 8-hour day. So 38 feet in an 8-hour day, average over the life of the job. And many of you will say, wow, that's nothing. Yeah, well, I can tell you that sometimes that's not so easy to attain. Many times it's not easy to attain. But how would you know anyway if you're not tracking production? So you can put 120 there if you want. If you're not tracking, who cares? But now we're tracking. So what we're going to show you is that the actual on this job is 43 feet per 8 hours. That's great. 52,960. Where does that number come from? It comes from the hours that you've reported used. So if you report 11,237 hours used, and that means those hours are being coded to any of the 101 cost codes, and they're coming in from the time tracker, time clock, from the tech app, or from manual punch. All those hours have been coded to this. And we can see a breakdown of those hours by clicking this bar. This shows hours used as a bar, as a percentage of total. So if we click it, it's going to give you a list of all those hours per pay period that have been coded to a cost code of 101. So you can see in this case, there's a whole lot of 101 cost codes, and these prefixes are areas of the building, right? Level 30, 31, 32, and so forth. So we don't want to track every one of those, so we roll them up into a PID, and we call the PID Branch Raceway. You can call that PID anything you want. You can call it tuna fish sandwich if you want. You have that control, but we're going to call it Branch Raceway. And this is a list of all the hours that have been charged to Branch Raceway. We get to the bottom, and there's the 11430 number shown right there.